Hello. Hey, it's Smithia Ford with Renal Diet HQ. I want to welcome everybody into the live and talk to you if you're watching the replay. Thank you for watching. Today, I want to talk about 3 ways that inflammation is affecting your kidneys, and you might not even know it. First, I'm going to check and make sure that we're live. Um, Give me a second. So, I hope you're having a great day, a great Tuesday it is, and I hope you've all been well, and I'm sorry that I haven't been around much. We've been really super busy. And I wanted to come to you today and talk about inflammation in your diet and in your body, because it's a really important part of healing from kidney disease and delaying the progression of kidney disease. Inflammation in your body can affect you whether you're pre-dialysis or if you're on dialysis. Even if you're on dialysis, you can decrease the amount of inflammation that's in your body. That will help you to heal better, to feel better, to have a lot of just improvement in fatigue and other things. So I want to talk about what is inflammation right now. So inflammation in your body is probably, you can think of it as a strain on your system. It is your body trying to react to some sort of aggression against it, so to speak. So if you think about it, it's like if you get a puncture wound, if you get a little, bee sting or a puncture wound, then what happens? You get redness, you get swelling, hopefully you don't get a reaction, but if you do, you get heat, you get pain. You have an inflammation point like in one little spot on your body. So having that inflammation point, you can understand what that means, and that is called acute inflammation. So when you have something happen, you have a cut, you have a scrape, whatever, you have that acutely happen, and then that becomes a source where your body sends all these antibodies and all these repairing and clotting factors, everything, to stop that inflammation. It gives you some inflammation in that moment, but it gives you to stop that intrusion on your body. It sees it as a strain on the system. It sees it as an intrusion. So think about that as something that's acute. But there's 2 kinds of inflammation. You can also have an inflammation that is chronic. And that's what happens a lot of times with chronic kidney disease, is you have some chronic sources of inflammation. So chronic inflammation is something that can be inside of your body, but think about it like a tooth infection. If you had a tooth infection that was not treated, it would be red, it would be swollen, it would be painful. You would have some heat. You may have, heat in that area. You have a fever. That's a sign of inflammation in your body mounting a reaction to what it feels like is an intrusion, whether it be a virus or a bacteria. Your body is supposed to mount these attacks on inflammatory agents that come into your body. It mounts this inflammatory response, and it helps you to react to that, and then it's gone. That's what's supposed to happen. But when you continue to have, like, say you have a tooth infection that's not treated, you continue to have that infection over time. It gets into your body. Your body's in an aroused state for a period of time. It's going to react to all those that infection, and it's going to continue to send little warriors into that area. But also that infection is getting into your blood. It's going throughout your body. That is not a good thing. So I just want to talk a little bit about acute versus chronic inflammation, because chronic inflammation is the issue that you would be concerned with in your body. So in an acute inflammation, just like I said, your body is going to release chemicals, protein into that area as a defense, and it's going to work on repairing that tissue or responding to the inflammation. Your body is going to quickly do that, and then over time, over a couple days or whatever, it will heal. Chronic inflammation is something when you have a low level exposure to an inflammatory agent or an irritant over time that your body cannot get rid of. So it's reacting, but it's not healing, so it continues to react, which is your normal response. But you're gonna tax your body's system from reacting to that over and over and over. It can damage tissues. It can cause some chronic illnesses. Chronic inflammation can damage your body because you're constantly on this state of awareness. Your body is constantly trying to fight this infection and or attack, and it's playing a role in autoimmune diseases. If you have an autoimmune disease, that's basically your body's inflammatory response going against something that should be normal in your body. So your body is unfortunately attacking itself, which if you have an autoimmune disease, you know that that's what's happening, but that's basically what happens a lot of times in things like rheumatoid arthritis, other things that are associated with inflammation and chronic inflammation are things like heart disease, cancer, diabetic complications. And so in diabetes, if you think about it, your body is always trying to go to homeostasis. So your body is always trying to get to that same level. So it's trying to keep your blood sugar in check. It's trying to keep your blood pH in check. And when your blood sugar is elevated because it's out of whack with your diabetes, if you're not managing it well or it's hard to manage, then that can mean that your body is going to react to that, and that is constantly happening, and it's constantly putting your body in this inflammation reaction response. So, and please feel free to put any questions in the comments, and I will see them and react to them at the end. I'm going to have to go on Facebook and look just to make sure that there's none there, but please feel free to ask any questions. So I want to talk about the signs that you may have inflammation that you don't realize is affecting you. So one of the big signs of inflammation, believe it or not, the chronic inflammation, the internal inflammation you really can't see, is gut issues. So having stomach pain, having digestive concerns like gas, diarrhea, constipation, those constantly going on, that's a sign that your body is reacting to inflammation, and it's chronic, because it's when your gut is one of your biggest immune organs. People don't realize that 70 or more % of your immunity in your body, it comes from your gut. So your gut helps to, first of all, as a barrier against attacks, attacks like food. So your body reacts to that, and it acts as that barrier, but it also creates immune cells, it creates white cells, and it shares them with the body. So one of the signs that you're not doing well with that is when your gut is starting to have issues, diarrhea, not digesting well, too slow, too fast, causing issues. Another sign that you might have inflammation, chronic inflammation in your body, is dental issues. You're not flossing, you have infections, your gums are inflamed. If your gums are inflamed, it's probably a good sign that you're having some inflammation in your body that is affecting you. So start trying to take care of that to reduce that inflammation level in your body, because the signs, the ways it affects your kidneys, I'm going to talk about in a minute, but you really have to do your best to try to reduce the amount of inflammation. Fatigue and sluggishness that is affecting your ability to do your daily activities. So you may have low iron, totally possible with kidney disease, which can give you anemia and make you tired. But also you get fatigue from the inflammatory response because your body's constantly on that hyper reaction. If you have related conditions like heart disease and diabetes, those are responding to inflammation, and they can also be related to inflammation. So those two things can cause inflammation, so you want to do some things to try to reduce inflammation in your body. If you have proteinuria or edema or hypertension, those are signs of hyper reaction to inflammatory response that your body is not doing well. So proteinuria is when you have your kidneys are not basically filtering properly, and they're letting large amounts of protein out through your urine, which is not normal and can damage your kidneys further. You also have edema, which is fluid retention, which means your body is not, your heart may not be pumping as well and properly to get the fluids back through your body. So, and then the last one I want to mention, which this has been more than 3 signs, but hopefully you forgive me. If you have regular joint or muscle aches and headaches, if those can't be attributed to other things, they can be related to inflammation. So joint pain and stuff is definitely related to inflammation. So I want to talk for a minute about ways that can affect your kidneys. These inflammatory response can lead to having additional toxins in your body. So if your kidneys are not filtering properly, you're going to have additional toxins in your blood, like additional uremic acid. That level, again, is not at homeostasis. It's a little bit elevated. So your body goes into an inflammatory response to try to reduce that. You may be having issues with your kidneys related to inflammation that's then causing more inflammation because you have this protein uremic acid in your body, in your blood, that's not being removed. If you have a diet high in refined grains, if you're limiting whole grains, limiting fruits and vegetables, like I know a lot of people do with kidney disease, because that's our old way we used to tell people to follow the diet. That's old dogma. But if you're following a very low fiber diet, very restrictive on the amounts of vegetables and fruits that you're eating and not eating whole grains, those can affect your kidneys, because those are some things you can do to help your kidneys. And I'm going to talk about that tomorrow more extensively. But that's how it can be affecting your kidneys. Again, the elevated acid levels in your blood. If you have dental issues and you have that chronic inflammation is just going to cause your body to not be able to function as well doing other things, because you have that inflammatory response going on that your body's putting a lot of energy to. Think about it this way. Your body is responding, and it's used to responding full force against any sort of attack. So you get a puncture wound, your body goes right there, going to attack it, going to get it out, protect you so you can survive. But what happens is we start having these attacks in our body goes into its normal reaction, and it goes all out, and it just continues to go all out until it finally continues to wear you down. The other thing that can affect your kidneys is if you're taking a lot of medications, which I know a lot of people do when they have kidney disease, maybe taking a lot of medications, and they have the limited ability, their filter for the kidneys is the liver, helps to filter your blood as well, and it may not be filtering as well. So those are some things I wanted to talk about today. Let me check if there's any questions. Give me just a second. I don't see any in the comments on my on my book, but let me see on my StreamYard. Let me see. I don't see any comments coming up. Nope. Okay, so today I wanted to talk to you about inflammation and how it's affecting your body, but feel free to join me tomorrow when I'm going to talk about how you can use your diet to improve that. So how you can reduce your inflammation using your diet, because as a dietitian, I feel like diet is the most important part in this. Not only doing other things to heal your body, but the way you eat and the food that you eat can significantly improve your inflammation in your diet. So I want to talk about that tomorrow. For now, please go over to the website, sign up for the email list, and get our free meal plans. We have a free week of meal plans. So join me over at my website, renaldiethq.com, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Feel free to leave any comments below the video and questions, and I will come back and answer them. Thanks. Talk to you soon.